Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank our fans for coming out today and supporting us the way that they did. They were really behind the team today, and we haven't given them a whole lot to cheer for. And I just really respect the fact that they came out and pulled hard for our players and gave us that home field advantage that we desperately needed today. So just thank the fans for sticking with us and being behind the boys today. We really needed it. And what a great baseball game. We pitched outstanding. Keyshawn, Askew, first start of the year. He was going to be a weekend guy for us and had an injury before the season started, so we haven't had him. And in a weekend where we didn't have Davis Sharp available yesterday, we really needed somebody to step up for us today in the rubber match, and Keyshawn was just absolutely outstanding. We used him as long as we could have. He was on a 60 pitch count limit, and he might have went a few over that, but he threw a heck of a ball game. Nick Clayton's been outstanding for us here lately. He pitched well. And Jeff, I'm really proud of Jeffrey Gilbert. Nobody competes harder than Jeffrey Gilbert. He gives up the home run. And, we have the big leverage at bat, couple free 90s with Kier and Dylan Brewer and, Jimmy Parker in the 3-hole for a reason, because he's the man. He's the man that we want up at the plate in high leverage situations, and got down into an 0-2 count. And thank God the wind was blowing out to right field a little bit and got it up in the air and, hit the 3-run homer. And Jeff gave Jeff an opportunity, to close it out in the 9th. And, just proud of our guys. We didn't swing the bat well, didn't hit well, really didn't do a good job of making adjustments at the plate against Connolly, who was phenomenal. He kept throwing a changeup and a slider. We didn't get, hardly any fastballs to hit whatsoever. But we also did not help ourselves at all. We struggled to make adjustments offensively, but all in all, it's great to get a win, great to win a series, and hopefully we'll get us some momentum going into this week.
Monte, Alex Dodd from the Clemson Insider. How crucial was it for your pitching to really from top to bottom to just hang in there and keep you guys in the game offensively?
Well, we pitched great today, and we needed to pitch great. We haven't been scoring runs consistently. We have those days like we did on Friday and on Tuesday where, it kind of comes in spurts for this offense. We're so momentum driven, it seems like. And, we need to pitch and defend. And, our pitching staff certainly was great today after struggling yesterday. So, but momentum in baseball is today's starting pitcher. And that's what I told the guys after the game yesterday. Today's momentum is all about the starting pitcher. And Keyshawn gave us all the momentum that we needed. We just needed to find a way to come up with a big blow with runners on base. But again, the effort that we got out of the 3 guys that pitched for us today was outstanding.
Coach Trevor Gross from CUTigers.com. You bring in Gilbert in the 8th, and he gives up the leadoff home run and then puts 2 runners on with no outs. But I'm guessing you never had anything but complete confidence in him even after that. How much did it kind of turn momentum a little bit when he got that picked off the runner at second for the first out there to take the runner out of scoring position?
Well, that was big for us because it limited their ability to score multiple runs in that inning. You gave up the solo homer. Look, the wind was blowing 15 miles an hour out to right field, and Jeff throws a ton of strikes. So you give their hitter credit. Jeff's going to come in and pound the strike zone. He doesn't walk anybody. And just give their hitter credit. It's baseball. I wasn't disappointed that Jeff gave up the home run. Jeff comes in to throw strikes. He is our guy, and he knows he's our guy. And he was available for multiple innings today, and they were at the 8th spot in their lineup. Nick had given us everything that he could give us, and we felt really good about bringing Jeff in that situation. And you just give their hitter credit. He gave up the home run, and then we had a couple guys on base, and did a great job of running the pick off the bunt play, and picked their runner off, and that was huge for us because it shut down their ability to score multiple runs in that inning. So. It was big, but it was all about execution. And that's the one thing that Gilbert does is Gilbert executes. And he did a great job of executing in the strike zone on the mound. He did a great job of executing the pick play when we ran it. So, I'm just respect Jeff a lot for his ability to execute the way that he does in high leverage situations.
How big was it to have Jeff available today to go multiple innings after his performance on Friday night?
Yeah, it was big for us. I mean, again, he's our guy. You know, we used him for multiple innings on Friday to win the game, and it worked. And you know, gave him the day off. Obviously, we did not need to use him in yesterday's game, and just to have him available for multiple innings was huge for us in a game where we struggled to score runs. We had to pitch, and you know, it's great having that guy sitting down there in the bullpen ready to go for you.
Coach, Henderson had his 6-game hitting streak snapped last night, but came through with a huge 2-out run scoring single to tie the game early today. How good was that to see him come through?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Elijah's a scrappy little guy, you know. I mean, he's just a scrappy little baseball player, and he's down there in the 9-hole, and he's a high contact guy, and that's kind of what you want, you know, down in the order there. And, you know, T.O.'s been doing a heck of a job of getting on base and had a couple infield hits. He can really run. If he puts the ball in play, makes it awfully tough, you know, to throw him out on a high hop ground ball, which he did twice today. So, you know, with T.O. hitting in front of him, we were starting to runner in that situation. So T.O. got a good jump at first base and was able to score on the single in the gap. So, you know, Elijah's just kind of sitting in the weeds down there ready to attack. And, you know, it was good for us.
How big is it just from a confidence standpoint to come out and take this series against?
Well, I mean, the win from come behind fashion is always big for your club. We needed to be able to do that. You know, we've had a lot of close ball games this year, and it hasn't been going our way. So, you know, we needed to be able to do it just so our guys have that now in their memory bank a little bit, you know. So we've been pressing an awful lot when we get down and frustrated in the dugout. Guys are competing as hard as they can, but we needed something good to go for us. And, you know, we had the man sitting there in the 3-hole, and he was ready to go when we needed him. And, you know, hopefully that'll just give us that confidence that if the game's close, we got a chance. So, you know, we've done that time and time in the past. And I think a lot of times it just takes that one time to show that you can do it. And then all of a sudden, you know, belief, you know, that confidence and that belief starts to creep in there.
Coach, sorry, go ahead.
What more can you say about James Parker and what he means for this team as a leader, a veteran guy?
Well, I think he's one of the most underrated players in our league. You know, nobody talks about James Parker as being one of the best shortstops in the ACC. You know, I mean, we've had a long line of really good shortstops with Logan Davidson and Eli White and Brad Miller. And look, the list goes on and on and on. You know, in just my short time at Clemson, we've had Eli White and Logan Davidson. This kid's just as good a player as those guys are. I know people would say, well, you know, Eli's a big leaguer and Logan's a first rounder. Well, just look at the stats. I mean, look at what the guy does in the box and look at what he does on defense. He's just as good a player as those guys are. You know, and he's the man. I mean, that's what we call him. He's our man. He's the guy that we want up at the plate in high leverage situations. He hit a 0-2 homer against the Gamecocks to tie it. He's done it time and time again. He hit the walk-off double against Cincinnati on Sunday for the sweep, and he did it again today. You know, it takes a guy that's got tremendous makeup and confidence and toughness to want that at bat. And, you know, the thing that James does is, you know, if he hadn't had a great at bat in that game, he don't care. You know, he's going to go up there and do whatever he's got to do for his team. He's a Clemson guy, you know. He's been a Clemson guy his whole life. His dad played here. He grew up a Clemson fan. So, you know, it's awesome to see a kid like that be able to do that for your team.
Coach Connolly is obviously a really good pitcher there. Virginia Tech starter today, 11 strikeouts. Is he just your typical ground ball pitcher? I think Grice was the only one to get the ball out of the infield the first 5 or 6 innings. And you mentioned the wind blowing out today. So how important was that for them to be able to keep the ball on the ground?
Well, I think what Connolly did was he didn't throw any fastballs. I mean, he threw all of our hitters. I mean, I chart every pitch in the ball game 2 times through the order. You know, the only hitters that we had in the lineup that got at least 2 fastballs were Meredith and Grice, and that was 0-0 and 3-2. Besides that, everything in between was all speed, either slider or changeup. And I don't know if he's a fly ball or a ground ball guy, so to speak. I think the biggest thing that he does is he throws all speed pitches that start in the strike zone and then gets you to swing out of the zone and chase. And that's what we did all day long. So, it was more about him using our aggressiveness against us. Had we just done a better job, heck, we should have just put the take until we get a strike on earlier in the ball game. And we probably would have had some runners on base because we swung at a lot of pitches out of the zone. And that's just on me as a coach. I didn't do a good enough job of just managing at bats, but we want our guys to be aggressive, obviously. But he just has a devastating changeup and a really good breaking ball. And, he's just tough to hit, bottom line.
Monte, you talk about the last 9 innings and you talk about handling pressure. How big was it to see in a pressure game you guys really needed to see you guys come through after falling behind late?
Well, that's what it boils down to, Robert. I mean, that's what it's going to boil down to in tight ball games. It's the last 9 outs of the game. That's where your high leverage relievers have to step up. That's where high leverage at bats happen in close games. It's where defense shows up. And, we didn't do a good job of that yesterday. That's for sure. In the 7th, we gave up a big inning. But, we take a lot of pride in just talking to the guys about, hey, we want to finish stronger than we started in a ball game. Baseball games are sometimes 3 hours long, and these kids are 18 to 22 years old. Trying to keep their focus from the 7th inning on sometimes can be a challenge just because we've been here all day long. But that's where mental toughness steps up. That's where the attention to detail and the heightened awareness steps up. So we take a lot of pride in that. We talk to the guys about it. We say it every day when we get to the 7th inning. Let's win the last 9 outs, and we certainly did that today.
Coach, can you give any details about Davis Sharp's injury and do you have a prognosis for him?
We'll probably know a little bit more. I would say maybe by Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. Hope to know a little bit more by then. I wouldn't say we necessarily know, right now. My guess is if it's still bothering him tomorrow, we'll get a little bit of a more detailed look at it, and we'll have a little more information probably by Tuesday or the middle of the week.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
First up is James Parker. Go ahead with questions.
James,
Yeah,
Alex
sure.
Todd from the Clemson Insider. You've really seemed to thrive in high pressure situations at your time here at Clemson. What's your mindset when you step up to the plate and you're down and there are runners on base and you know that you can make something happen with one swing?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always been kind of keeping it simple. I don't want to make the situation any greater than it is, but it's really just kind of sticking to my approach. They did a really good job pitching today to kind of keep us on our changing speeds and whatnot. And so obviously we struggled there throughout the day, chasing some pitches down and whatnot. So for me right there, it was really just kind of getting the ball up to hit. But more so than anything, I was just trying to hit it back up the middle, just trying to keep passing on the stick. For the guys in the lineup, not really trying to do anything big myself. So that's kind of was my mindset at that.
James, Trevor Gross from CUTalkers.com. Home runs in 3 straight games. Have you ever gone through a stretch like that before?
I don't think so. But I just kind of, today, I was just hit at the right spot in the park. But for me, it's just like I said, I'm definitely not going over there trying to hit home runs. I know I'm not going to be successful like that. So it's really just kind of sticking to my approach. And coaches have really helped me kind of develop a solid approach this year. And I think that's one of the big reasons that I've been able to, hit some balls out of the ballpark.
In the dugout, how much does it help you guys when Jeff goes out and picks off a guy at second base or a pitcher comes in and gets a big strikeout? It seems like those moments this season have been really important for getting you guys momentum at the plate.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're huge. I think there's a good chance that if that play never happened, this game could have turned out a completely different way. So I think that really got the momentum back on our side. And as for the dugout, I mean, everybody erupted. It gave us, the momentum we needed to kind of carry it into the next few innings, and we were able to get it done right there.
James, y'all had spring break this past week. How much do you think that kind of helped you? Usually you guys are on the road for spring break, but just kind of being able to isolate amongst yourselves and kind of get things turned around after the losing streak.
I think it was big. We were able to have some time kind of collect ourselves and realize that, some stuff just hadn't went our way lately. So I think it was big for us to just kind of put it behind us, and we were able to have some games at home, and we played good, and we were able to get win the series today. So I think it was really big for us just to be around home and stick together as a team. I think it was huge.
Coach
How
Lee
important
meant-
was this series win just for building you guys' confidence? How important was this series win just building you guys' confidence as a team as you move on in the season?
I think it's huge. Really, I think we're a really good team. We've got some guys that are starting to really play well. Our pitching has been, great. We've had our times of, doing really good and bad. So I think for us, it's just finding that just kind of the middle of the road and just kind of sticking to how we play at Clemson. And I think for us, this series is, it's a great to win, and hopefully we can keep it going on.
Coach Lee mentioned the fans today. Obviously, the fans have been limited this season. How different is it exactly, just compared to a usual season when the stands are packed?
It is different, obviously, but I think they've done a really good job this year. They obviously had some great energy right there in the ninth inning. We were trying to close it out. So I think they've done a great job. It is different, but they still definitely do have an impact on the game. So for us, it's just kind of sticking our game, and the fans are, it's nice to play at home. Obviously with COVID and everything, a lot of times people don't have fans, but they definitely helped us out this year, I think, more so than you would think.
Anything else for James? All right, thanks, James.
Thanks, James.
Chad.
Okay, last up is Keyshawn Askew. Go ahead with the questions.
Hey, Keyshawn, Alex Dodd from the Clemson Insider. How important was this start just for your confidence coming off of injury, and how good did it feel to go out and get a big series win today?
It was amazing. Just going in, of course, it was important. We've been on, a little tough streak just with games and series, but going in, it was important because I knew I wanted to get the series win and get us back on the right track. I know our guys were a high energy team, and this win was huge for us. I think we're really about to turn the page, and just for myself, just getting back comfortable, dealing with the injury, and just getting back comfortable and being back on the mound, and just getting back into the game of things. It was just a great overall day.
Keyshawn, Trevor Gross from CUTalkers.com. Coach Lee said that you were tabbed for a weekend starting spot before the injury. Can you just tell us about the injury, when that took place, and the extent of it, and how much of a challenge it was to come back from?
So it was a minor leg injury. Initial time I was probably supposed to be out for about 6 weeks, but everything came, and it was honestly just a blessing that it wasn't anything worse. It could have been really bad, but just with our trainer Travis and everyone else just fully behind me, supporting me, and grace of God, I was able to heal faster than expected and be back out there playing again.
What was working for you on the mound today, and do you like being in those kind of pitchers battle situations early in games?
Oh, definitely. My slider, I think, was definitely working for me today. I got a lot of swings and misses on it. They put together some competitive at-bats, and that was kind of the pitch that I was relying on to help me get out of situations or to put a guy away. But no, definitely, it was huge today. It was huge.
Keyshawn, I know you and Davis came in together and are real close. How difficult is it seeing him, not being able to pitch this weekend?
Yeah, that's easily one of my best friends. It's definitely tough because, it's kind of nice to be on the weekend rotation with your best friend. But I know he'll be back, and just hoping for the best. And once we get him back, we'll be looking really, really good.